They were Adolf Hitler's most formidable combatants, instilling profound dread with their somber attire and merciless repute. Upon the Third Reich's collapse in May 1945, their conflict endured, shifting from battlefields to courtrooms and the quiet struggle for reintegration. Hundreds of thousands of Waffen SS soldiers surrendered across Europe, transitioning from the Führer's elite to prisoners of war or fugitives. Allied authorities immediately mandated the comprehensive disbandment of the SS and all its formations, including principal combat divisions like Leibstandard Adolf Hitler and Das Reich. Judicial accountability followed swiftly, with the Nuremberg Tribunal declaring the entire SS apparatus, including the Waffen SS, a criminal organization on September 30, 1946. This legal determination implied that mere membership could be a criminal act, though stipulations existed for those forcibly conscripted after 1943 or without ideological complicity. Denazification tribunals proliferated, categorizing millions of former Nazis from principal offenders to passive adherents. High-ranking individuals like SS Brigadeführer Kurt Meyer faced prosecution and incarceration for atrocities, while most lower-ranking personnel were released within months. Conditions in post-war detention facilities were severe, with many prisoners confined in makeshift enclosures, battling disease and malnutrition. A minority elected to flee, utilizing falsified documentation and clandestine networks, with some former Waffen SS officers evacuating to South America, Spain, or Egypt. The designation Waffen SS became inextricably associated with savagery, leading to veterans being excluded from employment, pensions, and official commemorations. By 1948, Germany's emerging political leadership continued to classify the Waffen SS as a criminal entity, distinct from the conventional armed forces. The establishment of the Federal Republic of Germany in May 1949 inaugurated a new chapter for the nation and for former Waffen SS personnel. Initially, the Western Allies maintained their unequivocal stance. Waffen SS veterans were barred from civil service, pension schemes, and public employment. However, as Cold War tensions intensified, political expediency began to supersede rigorous denazification protocols. The Bundesversorgungsgesetz of 1950, the Federal War Victims Relief Act, ignited controversy. Should Waffen SS personnel receive benefits equivalent to Wehrmacht soldiers? Conservative politicians, including Chancellor Konrad Adenauer, ultimately agreed that their exclusion risked alienating a substantial electoral constituency. In 1953, Adenauer publicly proclaimed that Waffen SS men had fulfilled their duty as soldiers, analogous to others, enabling limited pensions for conscripts. By 1956, the question extended to the newly constituted Bundeswehr. Of 3,117 Waffen SS applicants, only 508 were accepted, many concealing their wartime histories. Outside official structures, former Waffen SS personnel found employment in industry or commerce, their military discipline and fraternal networks aiding placement despite social stigma. Many abstained from discourse regarding their service, assimilating into the collective silence emblematic of the 1950s, a period of looking to the future. During the early 1950s, former Waffen SS officers began to organize, leading to the formation of HIG in 1951 by figures like Paul Hauser and Otto Kumm. HIG, the Mutual Aid Association of former Waffen SS members, originated as a benevolent society but rapidly transformed into a political and historical advocacy group. Its founders argued that the Waffen SS had been unjustly condemned as an apolitical combat force, soldiers indistinguishable from any others. By the mid-1950s, HIG maintained chapters throughout West Germany, published periodicals like Der Freiwillige, and influenced conservative politicians. HIG's influence culminated during the 1960s, but public tolerance eroded as Germany's younger demographic confronted the Nazi past more directly. A 1978 Der Spiegel investigation exposed HIG's profound political connections and attempts to influence pension reforms, leading to a critical inflection point. By the 1980s, Hayag's membership declined amidst public censure and anti-fascist demonstrations, leading to its formal dissolution in 1992. Following the dissolution of the Berlin Wall in 1989, a reunified Germany initiated a more overt confrontation with its wartime past. Recently accessible archives elucidated how Waffen SS units operated in concert with security police and Einsatzgruppen, invalidating the myth of a clean military force. Pension debates continued into the 2000s, with reports of former Waffen SS veterans receiving state benefits, provoking public indignation. In Eastern Europe, veterans of locally recruited SS divisions began commemoration as national combatants against Soviet occupation, eliciting stringent criticism. Within Germany, overt admiration for the Waffen SS became culturally taboo, with SS insignia prohibited under Section 86A of the Criminal Code. Yet, far-right factions in digital spaces continued to employ SS iconography, depicting the Waffen SS as paragons of fortitude or European fraternity. Academic spheres now examine the fusion of ideology, discipline, and violence within the Waffen SS, emphasizing its role as an armed manifestation of Nazi political objectives. Today, exceedingly few Waffen SS veterans endure, their associations dissipated, yet their legacy persists within the debates, publications, and myths that continue to encircle them.